Now for Citta, or the mind, in Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma. Citta is a selfless state. It is a state of knowing, of being conscious of various preoccupations, alamana, from feelings, Vedana. This consciousness isn't harmful quite yet. Why? Because it hasn't been applied to anything. But once you cling to the Citta as being your true self, this Citta will become a place for the accumulating, gathering, and protecting of defilements and desires. The various defilements and desires that arise in our minds, be they love, pleasure, hatred, greed, anger, or delusion, all reside in the Citta. See, the Citta is entangled with all of these defilements and desires, so it is difficult to separate itself. How do they coexist? You can discern this from Dhammaram, or mind objects. That is, feelings, Vedana, are what inform you of the Citta's preoccupations that have arisen from within the Citta itself. Outputs in the form of vijnana, or consciousness, of the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind are products of the Citta. Various preoccupations like pleasure or displeasure arise from the Citta. Whatever manner in which these things arise from the Citta, that is the manner in which the Citta's characteristics are bound to manifest. It is like the rear lights of a car. If there is a yellow cover, when you activate the light will not be white as usual. Instead, it will correspond to the light cover and be yellow. If there is a white light cover, then it will be white. If there is a green light cover, then it will be green. The parts that comprise the rear lights of the car will correspond to those colors and express themselves in accordance with those colors. Our Cittas are the same way. If there is a certain defilement that is already concealed in the mind, when it expresses itself in the mind, it will correspond to that defilement. If greed arises in the mind, when it expresses itself in the mind, it will do so in one manner. When greed, anger, delusion, or what have you arise from the mind, they will express themselves a certain way. If someone experiences suffering or happiness in the mind, these concern the mind and will be expressed accordingly. You should understand that these preoccupations arise from the Citta directly. If you are to contemplate the Citta and teach the Citta, you must know the Citta's preoccupations that exist within yourself. What are the characteristics of the Citta's preoccupations? You should understand that that is what the Citta's characteristics correspond to. When it comes to teaching the Citta, you can only teach it according to its characteristics, in using wisdom to contemplate the Dhamma and teach and train your Citta. You must teach it to see the precise manner in which the Citta's preoccupations have manifested. Therefore, in using wisdom to contemplate the Dhamma and contemplating Citta, Dhamma, or indisputable truths, you must use wisdom that directly corresponds to the Citta's preoccupations in order to yield results. If your Citta is one way, but you contemplate something else, then it will not yield the results it should. It is like applying medication or taking medicine to cure an ailment. You are afflicted with one ailment, but take medicine for another ailment. It won't yield results. Or if you experience pain at a certain spot, but apply medication to a different spot, that medication won't yield results. If your vision is blurred and you apply eye drops to your big toe, your eyes won't be cured. This is because you have applied medicine that doesn't correspond to the right spot.